Hello and welcome to part 4 of Vampyr. We've been going through the game so far, and so far I'm very happy with it. The fighting and the dialogue, every NPC has a purpose, a backstory, needs, wants. There's no throwaways, and I really enjoy that. They were also very, they did a very good job of using the story to their advantage. You don't see a lot of NPCs in the game. And then you realize the plague is out, everyone's hiding in their homes. There's no reason for a lot of folks to be out right now. And it's in the middle of the night, and there's apparently a killer and a vampire on the loose. So yeah, folks shouldn't be out, and that perfectly backs up them not having a whole lot of NPCs in the game. So far, so good. I'm loving it. Let's get into it. Find Sean Hampton at the East End docks. Yes, that's right. Last we checked of Mr. Hamilton.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Truth. But Sean Hampton is, well, he slipped up a bit. So let's mosey on over. I got 2,900 XP to burn. We'll probably hold on to it, to be honest. We'll get some more, we'll go back and see what we can do.
It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district.
No kidding.
I must be more careful.
Fear no evil. We do the Lord's work here.
Right. Hello, Seawolf. How are you?
Please, sir. I can't let you through.
He sees me.
Best run along home. Look lively! It's on to us!
Ah!
Keep sharp, lads! I shall fear no evil!
Damn it, stop doing that.
Oh my God! God walks with me!
He's stuck with that.
Kill it! Stay on him now! I shall fear no evil!
I just got wrecked. Wrecked. I might need to level up after all, just to get a fucking fighting chance on these guys. He had a very strong weakness to shadow, and a lot of my attacks are shadow-based. He saw right through me, too. That didn't help.
Fear no evil! We do the Lord's work here!
Wrecked again. We're turning around, damn it. We're leveling up. They're up to level 17 in this bitch. Might need to look for someone around the hospital that I don't like, to be honest. Find someone to feed on. I'm trying to be a good person and not, you know, feed on the living or, you know, good people. They also said, like, that's the easiest way to play this game. The more people you kill and feed upon, the easier this game is. Puts you in quite the spot.
So lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New
Good
York.
evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Someone killed Miss Jones in her room.
You don't seem shocked by any of this.
Why should I be?
Fair enough.
Goodbye.
Let's go to bed. Or check out. Someone has a quest. Someone has a quest in you.
Oh, sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think you should talk to your mother. It would be good for both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'll think about it. Now, please, let me be.
Can do.
I have to go now, sir.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Right. Didn't he say he wishes to die?
Seems to be falling apart. But in the Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mr.
Doctor,
Good evening,
I'm okay.
You always knew to calm the children.
He wishes to die and he intends to do it again.
I don't feel the peace I was looking for. Mother, were you right all along? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yikes. That made me not feel good at all about my decision. But I got some XP. That was some good XP. Dead as fuck. Dead as fuck, but we still went into healthy. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Killed him. We got better for it. We're bringing this community up. Some of them have so many goddamn afflictions, I can't actually treat them. It'd almost be better to kill them. We haven't been on the West End yet. We still haven't touched this one yet, and all he's got is fatigue, I believe. Yeah, fatigue. We gotta meet the rest of the people in that district. Back at it. Pembroke is once again healthy. And we're level 15.
This hospital is a danger to its patients. Do not entrust these people with your life.
Good evening, Mrs. Goswick. How are you feeling?
Spare me your false compassion. It won't change all the bad publicity I intend to shine upon this toxic place. I knew this place was bad from the start.
What do you mean by a toxic place?
I hold you responsible, sir. You and everyone else in this shameful hospital. I was a fool to bring my Mortimer here. A fool.
A fool? What do you mean by that?
He tried to kill himself. I had him hospitalized in this secluded place to avoid a legal inquiry. And now he's been murdered.
Why hide his suicidal tendencies?
Mortimer was already so fragile. To be arrested for a suicide attempt would have killed him.
But he died anyway.
Violently murdered, yes. My poor boy
Copy, demon.
escaped
And
tragedy
hello.
only to face an even worse fate.
I found your son's suicide note, Beatrice. Maybe you'd like to read it.
Stop torturing me, Dr. Reed. It's too much. Do you have no heart?
I just wanted you to know that Mortimer wrote this letter for you.
I am going to tell everyone about this damned hospital. I will warn them about the cruelty, indifference, and danger this place represents.
Stop threatening me. Don't you realize doctors and hospitals are the last hope of this city?
You are heartless, Dr. Reed. Despite all your knowledge,
Yep.
I don't believe coldness is what the world needs to be a better place.
You aren't going to stay here forever, Mrs. Goswick. What are you going to do after your crusade against the hospital?
I'll stay as long as I want to, sir. I'm rich. Very rich. And I intend to spend all my money to close this place down. That's my plan.
You're a mesmerized level 4. I'm coming for you. You just wait.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
You just wait. See a Lady Ashbury, new dialogue available.
Oh, Jonathan, I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman, butchered by some savage scowl.
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the Scal, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by
Welcome
a
back,
creature,
Demon. How
a
are you?
vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
Have you embraced this woman? Like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols, or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? A hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
That was a little enlightening, at least. Who's sick here? Just him. He's got a cold. She's got a cold. Let's bite these illnesses in the butt. Assuming I can. Assuming I have the treatment for a cold. I almost want to dump all my points into stamina. That's not what I want. Looks like I have some already. Now we must find them. Pippa Hawkins is typically on the first floor. Newton is typically on the docks. Oh, Pippa. Milton, Ashbury, Thelma, Rakesh, Pippa. I think they did a very good job with his blood, like this vision. I like it.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Should be down at the docks. You just wait, Beatrice, because you're about to be a juicy-ass meal. Juicy-ass meal. Just gonna take some time. Oh, once I help Newton out with this, he'll be set.
I cannot enter.
Very rude to keep me from healing you. Doubly rude. I cannot even get to them. Off to play games with friends. See you later. Alright, Demon, take it easy. Finally, they came out.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
You bet.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, got that fear in London now.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You were wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight.
Awesome. Recovering, and everyone else is good. Still has fatigue. Cold. Neuralgia. Cold. Neuralgia. No cures for neuralgia on me, but I do have cold cures. Whitechapel. It's possible we can take Whitechapel as a shortcut down on the docks. It's just dicey. It's a very dicey place. She's back there crying because she knows that she's next. You just wait. Hi. Ow. Rude.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man. Chaplain, execution.
Sorry, sir. Look lively! It's all to us! One back to the... Murdering bosses! The leech has taken... Bloody leech!
That hurt you a lot more than it hurt me. Hello, good people of Whitechapel. Healthy. Looking for Loretta and Cardigan, or Cadigan. Cardigan. Can't do that. Can't do that. Trescue's fine.
Effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu. Good evening, my dear colleague.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I have no doubt it will. But I'm not against a second opinion, Dr. Reed.
Well, there you have it. Take this remedy, but be discreet. It may damage your business otherwise.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough.
Let's see if Petrescu's nice to me or not, and that will decide if we spare him or not.
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu.
Surely you have someone at...
Tell me...
I do not believe...
Are you in...
Don't be...
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Yep, time to go. No causes for you, Mr. Petrescu. It just, no, it's not gonna happen. I'm a bit of a savage today, I apologize, but I only have time for like-minded individuals, people that, you know, don't want to kill me.
I failed to protect Dorothea. I fall like she fell, but our fight is still alive.
Time to find Cadigan. Harry, Barrett, Joe, asshole. Cadigan. Who's Cadigan? Cadigan. Hey.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadigan Bates.
Do you require assistance Mr. Bates.
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say a live tenant's a paying tenant.
This guy.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
He's got horrible XP.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
I'm no saint, but to take advantage as you do, you are a despicable man who could only prosper in these dark times.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, saved lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swambra shit.
Tell me.
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
What is your business, exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
I don't approve of your actions, but I know very little about this borough other than its reputation. There are always necessary evils. Have you heard?
Not really.
A man such as yourself, knee-deep in the muck of Whitechapel, must know more. Speak now.
Heard it closed after the owners died. Refugees don't want to come to Whitechapel no more. Scared, I hear.
I'm part of the
As long as she
ISRP
was there
5M
at the
community,
dispensary,
Henry.
It attracted more immigrants and kept my place full. Such a shame.
Why am I not convinced?
Maybe it's because you lack faith.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
I love saving despicable folks. Makes me real happy. Happy. We're almost completely good on him, though. One more boost and he'll be good for the pickings, so to speak. Can't help neuralgia. Killed the fuck out of Petrescu. I guess nothing's going on.
When science fails you, this makes you.
See, I think I'm navigating well. Is this locked? You bet it's locked. The long way it is. Maybe there's a connection to get us down on the west end. Back this way, right?
I won't end up another drunk arsehole.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Tell me this shit's cordoned off too. Damn it. Well, I guess maybe that's what that line's for? I've been to the West End tons of times. Or is it the West End the only place I haven't been? I can't remember. Let's double back. There we go.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Not psyched about this, they've been upping their security. Oh dear.
shit!
17. That's a challenge. Wait, I need to go this way? I do. Okay.
Best be moving on.
Look at it! Vicious bugger! Watch out for them! Filthy don't like that, see ya! Leech spotted! Watch out! He's dead!
Something tells me that did not work out the way they wanted it to. Just a creeping feeling, really. Right. Old prune and good manners. Save the old man defeating the skulls. Where? Place
Are
seems
you all
pretty
right,
fucked.
sir? What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but are you really after these men? Why?
They took my boy! I've had no news since he joined that crazy gang. So I decided to come and find him myself, to get some answers.
I see. But as I said, your life is at risk if you stay here. And I'm not referring to the gangs either. You should leave, sir.
Well, this part of town used to be nicer, let's say. Perhaps you're right. This isn't the best way to save Andrew.
Okay. Kind of new to this district, but I'm meeting folks. Dear Mother, whatever happens to me, always remember that your son loves you. I know you did not always approve of the way I chose to live my life, but I won't change. I was born and raised in this part of town, and I just can't stand what is happening to my neighborhood, to people we know. I recently made a terrible decision. I decided to strike back against the tyranny of a few. I know that they will retaliate, but I'm ready for whatever comes. Thanks to you, I've always loved to read. Now that I'm about to take action, I can only quote Etienne de la Boétie? I don't know. They only seem tall because we're on our knees. I won't kneel anymore, Mother. I intend to stand straight, whatever the cost. Goodbye, my beloved mother, Jack.
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
Copy. Something around? Limehouse Dock. Someone I don't know. The door inside.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions. Or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
Nope. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. That's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just wanted to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Any chance you can help me find Sean Hampton?
The sad saint. Why would you talk to that cunt?
Actually, that's confidential.
Really? Well, go ask someone else then. I'm sure Tom Watts will gladly answer you.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne.
Feel it coming in my bones. A hatred. A wave of bitter death to drown and purge our city.
Good evening.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you recall?
I don't have any more cold
Goodbye.
medicine. No one had the cold up until now. But he's got a cold. He's got something, but we don't know because we've never met her. He's got fatigue.
Maggots and liars.
Pick yourself up, gotta talk to ya.
Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
This city has abandoned so many of its children. It's tragic.
I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Learning a little bit about you, aren't I?
Do you know a man who lives in this part of town? A man named Sean Hampton. I'm looking for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't know a lot of folks around here. Most prefer to avoid me.
Well, I don't think you should talk to him. He may be very sick.
Thanks for the tip. You might want to check the Turquoise Turtle. It's a pub not far from here. The barkeep knows everyone in these parts.
Do you need help?
A real
doctor treats everyone the same, Rufus.
I don't know what to say.
I don't treat everyone the
Sir,
same.
thank you.
So long, Rufus. Be careful. Take care.
He's off to do something.
Don't you think Miss Fishburne is nice to us? But I always have the feeling she's hiding something. For now, you're still the only real friend I have, Jack.
Interesting. There's Stella Fishburne. Guess I've met her. Shit. A lot of eavesdropping going on this side of town.
Stupid brat is gone. Good. I was tired of the maggot always hanging around our house anyway.
My God, Seymour. Have you hurt the boy?
Of course not. Why do you care so much about that cockroach? Do I need to talk to rats to get some attention too?
Don't be so childish. You know I love you, Seymour.
But you worry more about that stupid maggot.
Don't speak about him that way. Rufus has always been the kindest boy.
Yeah? Unlike your real son, right?
Damn. Just learning shit left and right, aren't I?
They must be too busy to answer.
House has too many citizens inside. Interesting.
Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reed. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in? Does grow eyes in the back of that head, sir. Gentlemen are easy targets.
It's locked, all right.
So you have questions about the flu, then?
Yes, among other things.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter, and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the Sad Saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburne.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is. But if you ask around, I'm sure you'll get your answer.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne.
Just grow eyes in the back of that head, sir.
Time to loot.
I'm not sure the epidemic.
Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr. Reed.
Rufus, tell me what you really think about Seymour Fishburne.
Seymour, he just scares me. A lot. Actually, he scares many people round here, even big fellows.
You mean his brutality is infamous, even in this shady part of town? That's impressive.
Yes, sir. How someone like that can be related to Mrs. Fishburne, well, it beggars belief.
The patience of a mother for her child knows no limits. None of us would be here otherwise.
You're right. And I certainly didn't mean any disrespect to the woman who takes such good care of me.
How come you consider it your only friend?
I found Jack when he was a baby, alone amongst dead rats. Poison, probably. He was the weakest, but he survived. Just like me with my parents.
Like you and your parents?
When I was 8, my parents died in a car accident. Rumour says I didn't get a scratch.
You don't remember the accident?
No. I was little back then. It's been a blurry mess and very quiet in my head ever since.
How have you survived? Did anybody take care of you?
I don't have any family left, really. Except for the good Mrs. Fishburne. She's like my family now.
How have...
I don't...
Right for the picking.
So long.
But he's not a dick. It's Sabrina.
Mark my
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
Ooh.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it
Good
look
evening,
like?
sir. Don't you recognize?
Don't take it personally.
Yes, you had definitely drunk too much then.
I'm Dyson Delaney. I'll try to remember you. This time.
Inebriation aside, do you need medical help?
Yes.
Take this, then. And perhaps you could try to slow down the alcohol intake, too.
Hey, Doc, you don't really want me to stop the only remedy I can afford.
What do you...
I drink.
Why do you drink so much?
Maybe it's because I prefer dying slowly. Death can be so abrupt. Personally, I like to see mine coming at my own pace.
You sound very sad, sir.
That's because I am Doc.
Don't you work at all?
I'd love to, but I don't have the time. Didn't I tell you? Drink in the morning and at noon. I'll drink at night.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the cheap drinks, I mean.
How dare you say such a thing? I love this neighborhood. So friendly. So joyful.
No reason at all to rejoice, then? Life is hopeless and then we die, is that it?
Let me tell you a story.
All right. Go on.
A few years ago, when I believed a resolute man could change things around here for good, a tragedy occurred nearby.
What kind of tragedy?
It was a bomb. Bomb that exploded and killed many people. Metal and blood everywhere. Shouts, fire, broken window of the shoe shop, the torn street light.
You lost people you loved that day, didn't you?
I've lost everything. But you know what the worst part is? I don't even remember where it happened. I've drunk so much to forget it. And now I can't remember where it was. I can't pay my homage to the dead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Delaney.
It's okay. If you ever find the place, just leave a flower for me there. Even if you tell me where it is. I'm not sure I'd memorize it.
Is there anything in particular that you like about this part of town? Except for the... What?
Yep.
Surely you must have had dreams and expectations when you were young.
Sure.
Sounds like you were an idealist.
No, sir. I was an anarchist.
Do you really think the world is that bad?
No. I believe we all can choose to make it better. But most of us are too weak, too corrupt and too guilty. I failed for sure, but others will come.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor. Make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then?
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know.
Who could tell me, then?
About the sad saint? I'll try asking Tom what's about.
Goodbye.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
Right.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night.
Hey, Chelsea, thank you for the
Investigating
200 Twitch
anything
pennies.
unusual.
And it looks like you've
I try
activated
and
a
encourage people to stay indoors,
football
but
emote.
People are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
I am a vampire, you know.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton. Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What?
Goodbye. Evening, miss.
Well, I never. That's a first. Customers who make that much mess rarely come back. Never mind in fancy togs.
I'm much more myself than when we first met. By the way, I'm Jonathan, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome back to the Turquoise Turtle then, Doctor. I'm Sabrina Cavendish. How can I help you?
What can you tell me about this area?
People don't appreciate that line of questioning round here. You best be more careful with what you say, sir.
You look concerned, Miss Cavendish.
This is a bad borough. Most people I know are afraid. Most locals will rob you blind, or worse. You best mind your step.
I have nothing to fear from the people round here, miss.
Yeah, I'm a brave woman myself, Dr. Reed, but I'd be a fool to think I'm invincible.
This place seems, how shall I put it, very colorful. I'm sure it has plenty of stories to tell.
We get people of all sorts here. It's that rare place in the docks where you can have a drink without being murdered. At least it's not happened yet.
So this bar is neutral territory then?
Yeah. Tom's convinced this is something the locals need. No one ever draws a weapon here. That's one of the reasons I accepted the job.
Your boss must be quite the negotiator to force such an agreement.
Yeah. Tom's a great bloke. Mr. Hampton, who runs the night asylum, he's the only other man that's able to keep peace around here.
That's awkward.
Excuse my curiosity, but where exactly are you from, Miss Cavendish?
Something bothering you? What, my name? Or my complexion?
Believe me, I never judge someone on their place of birth or the color of their skin.
If that's true, you'd be one of the few not to make fun of me. Just you, Tom, Dyson, Miss Fishburne, and of course Mr. Hampton.
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just curious to find out if you know this part of town well.
Nosy. My dad was a sailor from Bombay, and my mum was a maid born up in Glasgow. They got married in London. And here I am.
Ra-cha-cha-cha. You're healthy. Good.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight? Back to the docks, are we?
You remember me then?
Of course I do. You're that man who seemed so lost when he entered my bar a few nights ago.
Thank you for your hospitality. I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way.
I'm still Tom Watts. Welcome back, Doctor.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's not that bad. Thanks to people like the sad saint of the East End.
Who?
Sean Hampton, our own private holy figure. Few are foolish enough to make peace with the gangs. Sean is one of them.
How is it you can keep this place open? This part of town doesn't seem particularly safe.
Well, since everybody needs a drink, my pub is considered neutral ground by most groups.
I see. So you get pressure from all sides about how this place should be run, do you?
Or something like that. Nothing that a few wise words and a bottle of gin can't solve.
Since I'm here, is there anything I can do?
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace partly depends on my stock of gin. With the epidemic, my supplies are running low.
How could a physician help you in this matter?
I have a small warehouse just past the quarantine line. Perhaps, with you being a doctor, you could go there and come back?
Doctors aren't immune to disease, you know. Very well. Show me where it is. I'll see what I can do.
Oh, thank you, sir. Here's the key to get in. You're about to save many dry throats.
You're something of a figurehead around here.
I'm only pouring alcohol for everyone to forget their troubles. Sean Hampton is the one giving them long-term hope.
Why does your waitress feel in danger working on the docks?
This part of town is dangerous for all, but for women it's worse, as always. Sabrina is a brave girl, but she can't help feeling in danger.
Do you think she has good reason to feel this way? Are you not... worried about her safety?
Of course I am. The truth is, she's tougher than me deep inside. She just has to learn to control it.
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
Enid. Still need to find Enid. Recovering cold. Okay. Ooh, fatigue. I can work with that.
What have you done? You should have told me.
Give me the Spark, Barlow, and a Pre-Wind gunner.
Seems like the guard of Prewen is on Sean Hampton's trail, too.
Take a breath of this! Die! Burn it, boy! Do ya? I'll send you back in the die, burn
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
I am kicking some ass.
Turn your mind,
I have this thirst for blood. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you need any help?
Rest assured, I will help you, sir. Martin Nightingale, at your service. Please, take a look at my wares.
Your merchandise. I don't really see anything worth having. No offense.
None taken, sir. But please, I need to eat. Perhaps if you keep looking, you'd see something that takes your fancy.
Let me be frank.
Who the hell are you?
I meant no offense.
And what should I...
What can...
Not really.
Tell me if...
The pub...
Huh?
Jack!
Why not? There is no...
I don't feel...
Goodbye.
Please, sir. Come and have a gander.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I come in?
I already took my medication, Doctor. But thank you.
I'm sorry. Your medication? Have we met before?
Don't tease me like that, Jack. Sorry, what?
I think I should come in, miss. I'd like to check if everything is okay, what with the epidemic spreading across London.
An epidemic, you say? How terrible. I had no idea. But where are my manners? Please do come in, Doctor. You are a doctor, yes?
Hey.
So, Dr. Tippett.
Oi.
What brings you back here? I heard whispers you had a job at that fancy hospital.
I told you my name is Jonathan Reed. Don't you remember?
Of course I do. I remember my name too. Gillingham. But you may call me Enid, Doctor. I'm very happy to see you again.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Oh no, I don't gossip.
Is anyone taking care of you, Miss Gillingham?
My son is always here to take care.
Who are the more influential figures on the docks?
Well, I heard about some terrible
Enid, have you really no idea what happened to your son? No idea at all?
I've not seen Jack for so long. I lose track of time. Has something bad happened to him?
Jack is dead, Miss Gillingham.
Of course he's not. I've seen him. Tonight, in fact. Ever the joker, Dr. Tippett.
I found this watch. It was a gift from you to your boy, wasn't it? I think it should return to you now.
Oh, I remember. Yes, I recall the day I offered Jack this watch. Oh, it was such a beautiful day. Thank you, sir.
Trinkets and possessions help us remember our past. Promise me you'll not lose it.
I would never lose anything that belonged to Jack. Why don't you take this? Dr. Tippett? Please, for your charity.
Right.
I'm looking for a...
Sean Hampton, you...
Goodbye.
No help. Got a headache, though. Huh. Yeah, no shit. Yikes. Oh.
Shadows, once the epidemic has passed.
Your kind.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No, but I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
May I ask what you do for a living?
I'm killing myself scraping for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
As I told you, I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we? Was Daddy a banker or a doctor himself?
Why such hatred? Are you judging me by my clothes and my job?
Course I am. Fuck, you're so blind. You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
Ah.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here, and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
If you have something to say, say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Oh. You want information instead? Well, here's some for you. Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Your manners, your clothes, your words tell me everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
You're right. I have never suffered from poverty. But that doesn't mean I don't fight it and its consequences.
I really doubt you ever had to fight for anything in your life, Dr. Reed.
You speak of strikes and class enemy. Am I right to assume you're involved in trade union activism?
You bet I am.
You lost your job because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
Isn't the whole point of trade unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
Well,
I'm out. Oh, hi.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the docks? Not fishy at all.
And what about you? Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town?
You want to know my secret? I'm trying to earn money. And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
Is it not dangerous to work here at night?
As long as I have good legs, I can run away from trouble. The Sad Saint now provides me and my sister a bed and a roof. I don't want to lose that.
Are you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new home now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about the Sad Saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the Sad Saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, And he's not always sad.
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reed.
You really think I should go back to a safer place, miss?
No, I think you had better stay and help as many people as you can. Just avoid the wet boot boys. Those bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Which local dangers must I avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble, you can always seek help at Shornhampton Shelter. No one would dare to be violent there.
Oh, whoops. Stop it, I like her. Reckon you just got a bit of a headache. That's all. Oh, headache.
Glad to see.
Goodbye, Miss.
Sean Hampton. There he is.
Why the long face, Doctor?
Oh, dear God.
It looks like we both have changed a lot. I must confess, it saddens me, Sean.
Put your faith in the Lord, Doctor. He has a plan for all of us. We may not always see it, but he does.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst
Hey,
the
Jade, how are
weak
you?
and aid those that need it.
Do you think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it.
I'm doing
I
alright.
do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord. I only need to eat flesh, no blood.
What?
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders never cease. Scal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith. My will is far stronger than his.
Jesus, man. That's what he looked like before.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures. I have nothing but love for all he has made.
But you were close to her.
Of course. But she was lost. Separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
I will not look kindly on you if you're trying to trick me.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I surrender myself to your judgment.
Give a dog a bad name. Things are just getting more and more interesting, aren't they?
It's locked.
This scene worries me.
It's not a place for you, sir. We cannot be too strong. We have to stop it.
Look lively! It cannot be!
It's one of them! He's done for!
This could be the public house Giselle Paxton mentioned. I should investigate further.
A leech! He's dead!
Giselle's stolen money. Priwen has some unethical ways of financing their war. That doesn't work. So that's it. These wheels control the water level. That doesn't work.
Hey, darling, thank you for the stream. Here we are. Thank you for the host, babe. Thank you for the stream. I hate everything. Okay. So that closes it. I can't watch this because spoilers. You're welcome. Alright, darling, thank you. Can't wait to do some RP later tonight. This is open now, that's good. See a bunch of valves, but get rid of that one. Come down to any of these. See any valve over there? That valve, there's one. Both of them are shut. Nice. You could do without that dinner bell being rung, but hey, you know, you can't beg it and choose and all that. Oh dear. He's fucked up.
This is despicable.
Oh! What have I just signed up for?
These maggots have escaped the wrath of Ascalon for too long. It is time to purge the sewers of their filth.
You again. The one they call the sewer dog.
Hold your tongue, newborn, or I'll crush you like a maggot.
You've let the beast consume you.
Finally! A touch of lucidity.
Oh dear.
Learn to respect the laws of Ascalon! My neck shall snap like a hare's brittle bones, newborn! Once you've vanished, I'll slaughter these skulls while singing your name! Purple Banshee, the hand that crushes all! Slow as a snail! I shall tear thee apart and spill my blood to the pen. Thine shall be a fair skull to adorn my mantle. Your blood is now mine. I shall crush you. My neck shall snap like a hare's brittle bones, newborn. Return to your apothecary and needles. Down, stay down.
Eat shit. I'm gonna go this way now. Maybe not. It's locked.
It's locked, all right.
There we go.
At least one skull escaped Virgil's wrath. The poor creature is bleeding to death. He cannot be far. How could he have made it this far? There's blood everywhere.
The final hour come, Ascalon. They found us.
No. Safe we are, still. Drink now.
Bless you, Bridget.
This isn't the blood of a vampire, but it will quench your thirst. This is our domain, not yours. You've been warned.
Wait, I saved you from this creature. That must count for something.
Thank you. Now go. Go back to the streets and houses. There is no love lost between us, Vampire. But thank you.
Sean Hampton sent me here. I believe he wanted me to find you. Who are you?
If you must know, they call me Old Bridget. And this shelter is where we live.
I'm Jonathan Reed. I'm a newborn Ekon. I'm afraid I'm not sure what's going on.
I shall not bend a knee, young Ekon. But I sense your pain. Ask, and I will afford you my attention.
Why was that creature after you?
Fergal is the blunt instrument of the Ascalon Club. His masters would see us dead or turned into slaves, if they had their way.
What the hell was that thing? He wasn't an Ekon or a Scow.
They are known as Volkod, an ancient offshoot of Immortals. Blood drives them, enrages them.
What of this Ascalon Club?
Vampire Society's elite in the Empire. They make the rules and enforce their judgment upon us whom they see as lessers.
So is it you that Sean Hampton sent me to find?
Perhaps. The sad saint was always kind to us. He must trust you if he revealed our location.
Sean is a Skal. All those I've encountered have been violent, crazed creatures. How can he be any different?
Maybe because he is the sad saint. Or perhaps because I am Old Bridget of the Sewer Skulls.
Sean killed a patient of mine. And that's just one of the murders he's being hunted for.
If you refer to Harriet, she is now among us and under our protection.
Harriet Jones is alive. That's it. That's the proof Sean wanted me to find. I must talk to her.
No. Harriet is not alive. But you can speak to her. I must warn you, she is fragile and may not receive you warmly.
I don't understand.
She is filled with bile and hate. Her mind is sharp as a tack, but her body is so weak. I've never seen its like before. She is resting in a room on the far right of this hideout.
Thank you. I will bear that in mind.
Harriet Jones is alive. Well, alive. You know what I mean. Oh dear. I'm gonna loot first.
Hello, Harriet. Do you recognize me?
Yes, you were from the Pembroke Hospital. The young doctor. So full of secrets.
I have so many questions I need to ask you, Harriet. If you would.
I love questions. As for the answers, you may not like them.
How do you feel?
I can't see. I can't move. My body's burning. I feel as if I'm dying over and over again.
Have you tried to eat or drink something?
People here tried to feed me, but I'm just not hungry. I don't have the strength.
Does the pain ever stop?
It is not pain I feel. It's like I can't stop feeling every inch of my body. But at the same time, each muscle and bone is the wrong place.
Your room, the blood. What brought you to fake your death in such a gruesome fashion?
To see if I would be mourned.
Why flee with Sean Hampton?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see a saint fall to sin. But the coward still won't kill.
Do you take pleasure in causing so much pain and sorrow?
Nobody gave a damn about me. Not a tear shed. Poor Harriet. Always the discarded.
Why did you come here?
And why not? This is where I live now. Leave me be.
Will you respect old Bridget's wishes? Will you obey her?
Bridget is kind. She only needs to keep me fed and I'll be good.
So you desire to stay here?
Yes, I'm with my own kind. Birds of a feather, so to speak. Poor Harriet. Always alone.
I have a question of the utmost importance to ask. Will you answer?
Questions?
Do you remember what you did after leaving the hospital? Did you kill anyone?
First, a question from me. You answer first.
Very well then. What do you want to know?
Are you like me? Are you also dead?
We are not dead, Harriet. Death no longer pertains to us. We are different.
I like what I am. I truly do. I relish the pain that courses through me.
I know you fled the hospital with Sean Hampton. Did you or Sean kill anyone in your flight? Anyone? Try and remember.
I will not lie. I wanted blood, and I wanted revenge, and Sean pulled me from it, brought me here instead. But the shadows heard my prayers. The shadows killed that bastard.
You sought vengeance by your own hand, and someone else obliged you. Very convenient. Don't lie to me.
I don't lie. I saw him near the docks, and rightly I wished him dead. And I am happy he is. It's true. But I didn't kill him. I was too tired.
Who was that man? The one murdered in the street?
He used to be my landlord. I lived here for many years before falling ill. Oh, he was an awful man. Disgusting and cruel. So cruel.
Shadows? Tell me what you saw.
The shadows, they heard me and answered. Something in the deep darkness. Quick, deadly. It asked me if I wanted revenge. I answered, yes.
And these shadows, this presence, do you still hear it? Was it a vampire? Did Sean see it?
It spoke only to me, and now it is silent, but it is born of hatred. And it will kill again. And it hates you, Doctor. Oh, it hates you.
What makes you say that?
It whispered your name, Dr. Reed. It wanted to know who you were and where you went.
Questions about me? What did you say?
Nothing, Doctor. I said nothing. There was nothing it didn't already know. Oh, I'm tired now. Let me rest.
What the devil?
Have you found the answers you were looking for, young Ekon?
There is too much left unanswered. So many questions.
Get to know us. Spend time with us. And I may be willing to answer more questions.
Why do you live here?
Live. Here we hide.
What are you hiding from?
From the guilt, the shame, from the hunters and the light. And of course, our past.
Why don't you leave the city? Hide somewhere far from the Guard of Priwen. The Ascalon Club.
We are the Sewer Skulls. This is our domain. We have run as far as we can, and now we hide.
Your diction, your words. You do not carry yourself like most Skulls I've encountered.
True. I'm not like most Skulls.
Your
True.
You...
We ask but one thing.
For how long have you been in hiding here?
Skulls have been hiding under London since vampires first entered the city.
Where did you hide before the sewers?
We claimed ancient tunnels, forgotten caverns, catacombs. We are Skulls, groveling beneath the feet of our makers.
What manner of creature is Harriet? She is different from everyone else.
I really don't know. I'm not even certain she's a Skull. I've no idea as to what blood made her.
What is a Skull, in fact, in your honest opinion?
The progeny of a vampire, disavowed by her maker. Perhaps a fruitless branch of a noble tree.
You mentioned that vampire blood has tremendous potency. You...
The vampire's sweet blood. That rich, dark wine that we crave. For it made us, and it can sustain us.
I thank you for your time, madam.
Your kindness has been ample payment, Ekon.
Thank you. I can't believe I'm doing this.
London. I've not seen beyond me walls in such a long time.
Oh, she has anemia. Cold.
We're at your mercy. Will you end us?
It's locked, all right.
Welcome back, Dr. Reed. Would you like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his believers. Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So, true to your word, you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reed, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
You make no distinction between the living and the scars, do you?
We are God's children, Dr. Reed. One and all. And he's determined to save us.
What will be the result if you continue to assist both Skulls and the living?
For the last decade, that's what's been happening. And they found a better life. What's to change?
You're forgetting the epidemic. Things can go south very quickly. I've seen it.
Oh, these are terrible times. Only those pure of heart shall prevail.
You've turned Skull now. Don't you see the danger to anyone giving you their trust?
We are all sinners, awaiting salvation. This is a simple truth, ordained by the Lord Almighty. I am a seeker of his glorious light.
Does this place belong to you? How can you be so certain you can keep it open?
This warehouse was once property of the Dawson family, but has been bequeathed me through donation.
The Dawsons? The wealthiest family in London? Have they a clue as to what goes on here?
Not at all. The donation was made before the war. The building was run down. I never met Aloysius Dawson myself.
So you have the run of the place and no one's taken notice?
As long as we keep to ourselves, we interest no one. This is a haven, and I pray it remains so for eons to come.
Harriet, Miss Jones has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old Bridget. She's the guide Harriet requires.
Who is this old Bridget?
I don't know, Doctor. She rarely speaks of her past, but I know she has a long one. She's likely the oldest soul in the city.
His eyes are so unnerving.
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger Skulls, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
We have been blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of his divine will. We shall feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I haven't the luxury of being able to satisfy my hunger on staunch blood and lifeless flesh.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges. You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
I really would like to believe your fairy tale. The good ghoul feeding upon the flesh of the dead. But I'm all out of innocence.
Do you question my faith, Dr. Reed?
Do you remember William? Oh, how his admiration for you was exceeded only by his hunger.
May his soul rest in peace.
A night will come, and you will suffer the same hunger. Someone who trusts you completely. A friend will die never to wake.
You confuse your voracious appetite with my itchy hunger. I would never kill a friend, nor an innocent.
I believe you've discovered our defining difference.
No! No! Ah! I did... Ah!
That needed to be done. I believe so, at least. Things were just gonna get worse. Couldn't have that. Uh-oh.
Another corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick. I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father. "29 Pretty Orchard Street. That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there.
And that'll be where